Planty people, it's Krista with Botanical Bird, and I guess intros and outros have not been my thing lately, but this week I wanted to take you guys with me as I make my outdoor planty oasis. So I've mentioned many times that my boyfriend Nicholas and I have moved into a house, and with part of that comes trying to find light for my plants. And so one of my solutions was to move a lot of my plants outside, and we had this great little back door covered patio area, and so a lot of my highlight plants are going out there, at least for now. And since I found the time this weekend, I wanted to move them and place them as I wanted to create a space that can kind of give me a break from all the crazy parts of life and my new job, and to just make it my own. So please enjoy this sped up version of me figuring out what my planty oasis will look like. So right now I'm just moving all of my plants from the patio kind of just forward off of the main patio. It took us about a week to unpack all of our stuff. Well, really we were just working on the weekend. So it took a whole weekend of basically nonstop work to just unpack everything in the house. So I was pretty much just stashing plants on the patio as needed. If they looked really sad inside, I just brought them outside under the cover of the roof thing. There was no rhyme or reason to where they were. They were just like out in the middle of everywhere. So the first thing I want to do, there's tons of leaves and just debris on the patio. So I'm moving everything forward so that I can sweep. So the next thing I want to do is I want to move all of the big furniture and get that where I want it, and then place all of the plants and all of the smaller things around those main pieces. And you'll see me step back several times to look at the bigger picture, because what something might look like up front could be totally different what it looks like if you take a step back. And I want the whole scene to flow and for there to have one continuous vibe. Now that all of the major furniture pieces have been placed, I'm going to start adding back in the plants that I have, and this is the hardest part for me, trying to figure out what looks best where while also having it strategically placed for its optimal lighting requirements. But since all of these are outside under a covered patio, I feel like the environment is pretty much the same for all of them, except for maybe if I put plants closer to the edge of the overhang versus farther back, that might have a little bit of a difference as far as light goes. Maybe even some rain might hit some plants that are further out, just little differences like that. Here I'm trying to decide what in the world to do with a couple of medium-sized plants that won't fit in that white shelving unit that I have, but that I don't feel like are big enough to maybe kind of just stand alone by themselves. And so I'm trying to also spread them out so that I'm not just having tons of plants in the corner and then no plants everywhere else. So I decided to put a couple on the windowsill behind that little table that I have, so as to hopefully not block the windows, because I have propagation vessels on the inside from those windows, but also so that they kind of balance out the high concentration of plants that I have in the corner there. You can see I'm having some trouble with these last few plants. I feel like they're the hardest to place because they are what kind of brings everything together, and there's no more space on the shelves that I have out there. I only wanted one main plant on the center of the little table that I have, and so I'm trying to figure out what I can do to kind of help the space flow. And I have been learning to appreciate plants on the floor, and so I'm trying to find plants that are big enough to be noticeable if they're standalone plants on the ground, but that they're not too big where they kind of swallow up the smaller plants that are next to them. The strange bags with bamboo sticks sticking out of them right now that I'm grabbing, those are my propagation bags, little plant cuttings or pieces of plants that I'm propagating in soil. And I have them outside once again because they need more light than what I feel like the inside of our home can provide. And this is not a permanent location for them. I'm hoping to find like maybe another little shelving unit or something for them to sit on, but for the purpose of this video, I just have them sitting in the middle because I didn't know where to put them and because they need a space with bright and direct light. All right, y'all, before I show you guys the end stage of this planty space, I wanted to encourage you to let me know what your planty spaces are looking like. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them below. And that if you like this video, to please follow my planty Instagram and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Eek! Here's the finished product. I am so excited with how it turned out. None of this means that this is where these plants will stay. It can be a fluid thing that continuously changes, and that's one of the best things about plants.